All right, so we're looking at currants or ribes or gooseberries. They've got these thorns. So that's a good characteristic for them, is this big old thorn. They don't have to be that big, but this one does have big ones. And the leaves are fairly distinct because they've got 3 or 5 lobes. If we look at the fruit, I'll bring some over to us. These don't show it real well. Oftentimes they've got little hairs on them. You can't really see the hairs. These look pretty smooth. These are going to be currants. So currants are red. There's some green ones, and they're bigger. Those would be gooseberries, which are over here, but they're not. None of them are ripe yet. And then there's black ones as well. So those are kind of the 3 that you can buy at the store. But ribes and okay, so over here, this is the goose. These don't have the little hairs on them, but see, these will be bigger. This will get maybe double that size, and these will stay green. But it's got the same appearance. There are a bunch of different species of ribes in Michigan. This is a good random assortment of multiple ones, but there's a handful of species in Michigan. Now, since it's right here, we've got our lunaria or our good Brassicaceae here with the 5 or the 4 petals. The stamen, there would be 2 big ones, or there'd be some big stamen and some small stamen. We've looked at this before, so here's a shorter stamen. But then now we've got the fruit starting to form. So these are the siliques or silicules, depending if they're long or skinny or short or fat. These aren't quite ripe yet, but that gives you a feel for what their fruit would look like. You need the fruit to identify them because all the flowers look pretty much the same. Since it's right here, we can also do, there's a tulip tree. So this is the leaf for the tulip tree, and then this is the tree. All the leaves are up higher, but they're very distinct, bilaterally symmetrical. Nothing else really looks like this. This is a fun one that's, if you look up, you'll see that it's kind of a multicolored, and you can see these ones coming from the base, again, because these were going to be grafted. These ones coming from the base don't have the multicolored, whereas the ones up there were, because they're a different individual. They grafted it on, which is kind of neat. So there's one right here coming off. You can see the kind of dappled horticultural variety of it versus the natural. Right here we've got the ribes again. So this is I think this is the black one. So the flowers aren't as far along, but you see the variety in it. They're pretty common. And then also right next to us, we've got witch hazel. Witch hazel's a neat one because they tend to have some roundish leaves, but then these are the remnants of the flowers or the fruit. They're unique in that they flower over the winter, or like early spring or late fall, which is just neat. So a lot of people like to have them so that there's something to look at in kind of the off season. And then also right here, we've got a more traditional willow with long skinny leaves. So this is your more traditional willow with kind of long skinny leaves that are serrate. Of course, these aren't very serrate. This one's more serrate. And then it's got little catkins. You can see the little catkins forming. So there's lots of little catkins on here. And remember, willow you use for aspirin. So it's actually in the bark, but you wouldn't want to eat bark. So the young twigs people often chew on to give anything that you'd get aspirin from, like as a herbal remedy, salix or willow will work for. Okay.